this problem here, we're given this equation, and I've taken the liberty to already graph the equation, so I have it here. And I've zoomed to my standard windows to see what it is. And I also have this line down here, which is I'm going to deal with down at this point for C part. But for this first one, if I want to find the vertex, I'm looking for the smallest value of this thing. I'm going to go down a little bit further on my graph, so I'm going to change my window. I'm going to go down, make my Y minimum. Let's make it minus 20 to make sure I can see it. And I'll graph it. And there is my vertex. And to find my vertex, I'm going to go to my calculate menu, which is second trace, and I want a minimum this time. If it was a negative parabola, I would find a maximum. So I find the minimum. And now, before I touch anything, it says left bound, and I can see here that the vertex is about positive 1. So I want to put a number to the left of positive 1, so I can hit 0. Now to the right of positive 1, I'll say 3, and I'm going to guess that it's 1. And so here is my vertex, is the point 1.029, comma 13 negative 0.603. Now to three significant figures, it's 1.03, comma negative 13.6. B part says find the x-intercepts. Well, that's these points here where it crosses the x-axis. So to do it, I'm going to do this thing called 0. So I hit second, calculate, which is under trace. I'm going to do 0. So number 2. And if I find the one here first, I want left of it, which I am left of it. And I'm estimating it to be about 3. So I'm going to put on the right bound of 5. And I'm going to guess it to be 3. And my first 0 is 3.0296, put on the 0, which to three significant figures is 3.03, comma 0. Do the same thing again to find the one on the left hand side. Second trace, I find my 0, and I estimate to be negative 1. So my left bound I'll put negative 3, my right bound I'll make 0, my guess was negative 1, and there we go. We get the value negative 0.9708, comma 0, which to three significant figures is negative 0.971, comma 0. Finally, now C part, solve this equation. Well, here's the tricky part. This is, if I use my calculator to do this, I'm going to make this be a y2 and this one be a y1. And I want to find when is y2 equal to y1. And I've put the two graphs in there. When are these two graphs equal? Well, they're equal at these intersection points. And so again, I go to this menu, second trace, which is my calculate menu, and I'm going to do intersection number 5. And it's asking me for my first curve. This is one of the equations I'm using, so I'll hit enter. That's the other equation I'm using. I hit enter. I'm going to guess, well, it looks to be right around 0, so I'm going to click on 0. And my first answer, I'll switch to purple for C, I get negative 0.134. And that is what x will be. I do not need the y value because it's only looking for what x is going to be. Similarly, I do the same scenario for here. I'm going to go second trace, find the intersection, first curve, second curve, my guess, try that again. My intersection, I got my first curve and my second curve, but my guess here is going to be at about 3, and I get 2.19 equals 2x. Now it does say that in order to do this, I need to do a graphical solution. And so what that entails is making a picture, just a rough sketch. I know it's going to do something like this, and then here is y is equal to negative 9. This is y is equal to 3.4x squared minus 7x minus 10. This is minus 20 to 10 to negative 10 to 10. And I know these values because if I look at my Windows setting, that's what my Windows setting is at. And so now I have a rough sketch of what I actually see on my calculator, which is what I want. And my answers are specifically this value here, which is 2.91, x equals 2.19, and this value here, which is x equals negative 0.134. So our calculator is a big tool, and we can use it to find various values of vertex, x-intercept, y-intercept, or not y-intercept, solving equations. On an off chance, if I want to find the y-intercept, if I go second trace, find the value when x equals 0, when x equals 0, I get negative 10. 0, negative 10.